Well, folks, the media, they used to love RFK Jr. They really, really liked him. Like, they would feature him an awful lot. And now he's running against Joe Biden, and they've decided that not only do they not like him, he hates Jews or something. RFK Jr. is freaking out a lot of people in the media because he's actually polling fairly decently against Joe Biden. Joe Biden should be in the 90% range. He should not be in the 70% range. RFK Jr. should be in the 0% range, not in the 15 to 20% range. And yet RFK Jr. continues to draw some support. There was a bit of a mini controversy over the weekend that was kind of bizarre with regard to RFK Jr. So he was on tape and he was talking specifically about COVID. And he suggested that COVID might have been a bioweapon engineered by the Chinese that was made less deadly for people of particular ethnicities. And this was touted as though he was suggesting that, for example, Jews had created COVID in order to avoid the targeting of Ashkenaz Jews. That's not actually what he is saying right here, I'll point out. So here are his comments, and then here is what he was actually talking about.
COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are because of the structure of the genetic structure, genetic differentials among different races of the receptors of the ACE2 receptor. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
So he was actually citing a study that was published in July 2020 that suggested that one particular receptor for the virus was not present in certain populations. Now, it appears that that study was misread by RFK Jr., but he was not. Again, I'm rather attuned to anti-Semitism. I do not think he was making the claim that Jews engineered COVID to avoid the deaths of Ashkenazi Jews. I'm pretty sure that's not what he was saying right there. Let's talk about the fact that you require good cell phone coverage. And that good cell phone coverage can come from a company that doesn't actually hate your guts. Pure Talk just added data to every plan, and they include a mobile hotspot with no price increase whatsoever, which is how they're looking out for you, because they actually upgrade your service and they're not going to charge you for it. This is great news for new and current Pure Talk customers. If you've considered Pure Talk before, but you haven't made the switch, take a look again. For just $20 a month, you'll get unlimited talk, text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus their new mobile hotspot. This is one of the reasons I really like Pure Talk. They're veteran-owned. They only hire the best customer service team located right here in the great United States of America. Most families are saving almost $1,000 a year while enjoying the most dependable 5G network in America. Remember, you vote with how you spend your money, so stop supporting woke wireless companies that don't actually like you very much. When you go to puretalk.com/Shapiro, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month because they actually value you. That's puretalk.com/Shapiro. Pure Talk is wireless for Americans by Americans. Again, go check them out right now at puretalk.com/Shapiro. There's a reason I use their cell phone coverage. The coverage is excellent. And again, you get that great deal. puretalk.com/Shapiro. Save an additional 50% off your very first month of coverage. If you're hiring, you're probably dealing with economic uncertainty, because everybody's dealing with economic uncertainty at this point. Now more than ever, it's important to hire the right people faster and more efficiently to keep overall costs down. Thankfully, ZipRecruiter is a hiring partner focused on you and your needs. From pricing to technology, everything ZipRecruiter does is for you. Right now, you can try them for free at ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. ZipRecruiter's smart technology identifies the best matches for your job and lets you invite candidates you really want to apply to your job before other businesses can actually snag them. I love that their pricing is very straightforward. You can stick to your budget. You won't get surprises. Hire the best with the help of a partner who's all about you and your business with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within day one. Just go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/DAILYWIRE. We've been using ZipRecruiter here at the Daily Wire for 7-8 years at this point. We want to make sure that you have the same opportunity to get the best employees. That's what ZipRecruiter does for you. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. Try it out for free. ZipRecruiter is indeed the smartest way to hire. I'm not a huge RFK Jr. fan. I think that he is a conspiratorial thinker. I've pointed out when I think that he is overstating the case. For example, he's constantly making the case that if it's not autism, that if it's not vaccines that are increasing the risk of autism, then what is it? Which is a really, really bad scientific argument. That's like me saying to my wife, if it wasn't a robber who created this giant pile of dishes in the sink last night, who was it? It's like, well, it could be another thing, right? I mean, it could be. But so don't count me among Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s most ardent defenders. I've been more critical of him than many, but the notion that what he was saying there was like explicitly anti-Semitic or it was a conspiracy theory about Jews creating COVID or something. I think one of the things that's happening now is now the media, who are fairly warm to RFK Jr. for years and years and years, see him as a threat to Biden. And so they're starting to turn on him. You'll also notice that those comments didn't get any sort of the same sort of coverage as comments that he made to Shmuley Boteach, who leads the World's Values Network. And in this particular interview, you'll hear RFK Jr. Talking about strong support for Israel. And so again, what the media are focused on like a laser beam is anti-Semitism, supposed anti-Semitism from RFK Jr. in a comment that is fairly certainly not anti-Semitism. Meanwhile, they're perfectly willing to overlook open anti-Semitism inside the Democratic Party, which we'll get to in 1 second.
Well, I can tell you there's nobody who's running for president right now in either party who will be a better friend to Israel than me as president, and nobody who will articulate the moral case for Israel with the same erudition or the same persuasive power as me, because I believe it in my heart. It's core to the values that I was raised with. My father was a key commitment of my father during his lifetime, to President Kennedy, to my uncle Teddy, who played such a key role in assisting the Soviet Jewry to leave the Soviet Union during the 1980s, to get to the United States and safe harbors in Israel. And that friendship with Israel and making the case for the moral case for Israel will be a key part of my presidency.
Okay, so let me just point out here that, again, the media are very attuned to RFK Jr. He must have said something super anti-Semitic right there in that comment over dinner, when he's pretty clearly not. Meanwhile, Pramila Jayapal, who's the head of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, she was like openly anti-Semitic over the weekend. I mean, just like openly full-bore anti-Semitic. She's at Netroots Nation, which is a place for crazy people. And she was speaking about Israel and just calls it openly it's a racist state. I mean, like full anti-Semitic rant here from Pramila Jayapal. And inside the Democratic Party halls of power, like they're going to like kind of tut her, but they'll basically let it go, of course.
Can I say something as somebody that's been in the streets and has participated in a lot of demonstrations? I think I want you to know that we have been fighting to make it clear that Israel is a racist state, that the Palestinian people deserve self-determination and autonomy, that the dream of a two-state solution is slipping away from us, that it does not even feel possible. It does not even feel possible. And I want you to know that while you may have arguments with whether or not some of us on stage are fighting hard enough, I do want you to know that there is an organized opposition on the other side, and it isn't the people that are on this stage.
Right, so Israel's a racist state, says the lady about the country that has a 20% Arab population, where Arabs are fully a part of every part of the Israeli economy and fully part of everyday Israeli life. Meanwhile, the Palestinians, where there are literally no Jews do not live there because they will be murdered, they're doing just fine. The Democratic Party is generally okay with this. Over the weekend, Vice President Kamala Harris tweeted out a picture of herself with Reverend Jesse Jackson, saying, "Reverend Jesse Jackson, you're one of our nation's greatest patriots. Thank you for widening the path for generations to come. In this moment, let us all model your lifelong commitment to progress and remain committed to the fight for freedom and justice." Jesse Jackson is a lifelong anti-Semite. He famously in the 1980s called New York Jaime Town, filled with Jaimes. And he suggested when Barack Obama was running for president that he was going to finally wipe away the Zionist conspiracy inside the government and all the rest of this kind of stuff. The Democratic Party is not only okay with that. The Vice President of the United States tweets out her friendship and support for Jesse Jackson, who, of course, is also very close with Louis Farrakhan. So this is the way that it works. Only certain types of anti-Semitism bother the Democrats. The types of anti-Semitism that may not actually be anti-Semitic, but may threaten Joe Biden's hold on power. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into the mailbag. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro. Check out for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click that link in the description and join us.